everybody, this is Matt from rhinoio.com, and today we're going to be talking about Web Components and Polymer, which were recently discussed at Google I/O 2014, and we're going to talk a little bit about how it's going to change the way that we develop for the web. First, let's talk about exactly what web components are and how Polymer can complement them. Web components are a set of W3 standards that are beginning to make their way into browsers. They allow us to wrap markup styles and behavior into custom HTML elements. There are four concepts that allow us to do this. First is templates, then custom elements, shadow DOM, and imports. Templates contain the markup for the web component. They don't render any content until they're stamped out inside the HTML. Let's pretend we have an element called contact form, and inside of that element let's have a few inputs with a submit button inside the template. The HTML document wouldn't render the inputs or the submit button until contact form was called inside of our HTML document. Scripts aren't processed and images aren't downloaded either, which can be extremely useful in processing below the fold content only when the user is going to view the information, which in turn could boost performance. Custom elements are developer-defined elements that contain the templates mentioned above. We can add attributes to custom elements that can interact with our template. If we want to allow other developers to send an AJAX call with our contact form element and define the URL of their choosing, we could use URL equals whatever URL they would like inside of our contact form element. Custom elements can also extend native elements or other custom elements. So if you'd like to implement a button element but still add other markup styles or scripts to it, you can. Shadow DOM is what you might call the secret sauce of web components. Shadow DOM forms a scope of DOM nodes that aren't accessed in the child nodes of our custom element. Let's say that within the template of our contact form element we have markup of two text inputs. The inputs will be inside of the shadow DOM. When we look at our source code and inspector, you won't find those two inputs inside the contact form element. Instead, they are found under shadow root. Imports are used to load external files that contain the markup for our custom elements. We do this by using a link element. Imports can include CSS, JavaScript, and anything that is compatible with an HTML file. And now that we have a grasp of what web components are, let's take a look at Polymer and how it can help in assisting us to create web components. Polymer is a set of web components that the Polymer team at Google has made to allow essential functions. It can make things much simpler and faster when it comes to creating custom elements and making AJAX calls. There are both elements that can be seen, which are called UI elements, and elements that are not seen, called non-UI elements. Since some browsers still don't have support for templates, custom elements, shadow DOM, and imports, the Polymer team created platform.js to assist until these methods are more adopted. Platform contains polyfills for these web technologies and fills in the gaps where needed in a browser. The great part about Platform is that it will detect if the feature is natively supported and only utilize the polyfills that are needed in that browser. So as things are supported natively, our code will load much faster. Here I've listed some good resources that you can use to learn more about Web Components, Polymer, and the rest of these concepts. I'll put these in the description below. Be sure to check out the next video where we'll start getting our hands dirty and start creating our contact form web component. And then on the third video, we'll hook it up with AJAX and learn how to send requests and receive data back from the request. Thank you guys so much. Share, like, and we'll talk to you later.